Okay, so back. So chapter 3. We are there reading the Monarch's right in UK and Spain. And we are in the part 1, the rights of the king of the United Kingdom. So you see, in the previous video, I was stating that they are talking about monarch, where they should be talking about kingship. And something's gonna burn. Just warning, I don't know who. Smells like burn things. So something's gonna burn. Anyway. Yeah, in the title they are talking about kingship, while in the text they are talking about monarch rights. So this means that this means that I am the ruler of the Commonwealth, the United Kingdom, and that they are confirming this by using the word monarch, which is something that I have been researching to know what type of title would be gender neutral to respect my queer genderness, my queer genderness, my gender, which is queer. So it's more on the neutral basis. I am not going too much about the feminine sides these days, and I have been consistently gaslighted on the fact that I be a male, which in turn just reinforced my kingship instead of my monarchship, which is a defensive attack to keep me in the blend of rights instead of depriving me from potentially from those rights, given that kingship and not queenship is ruling officially. So this kept me in the ropes, so to say, of royal ruleness. I don't know how to say it. But it's automatic with the way that I'm expressing myself right now. But whatever, let's roll with it. So the sovereign in parliament, the legislative role. They're burning shit there. The British Parliament is constitutionally composed of three parts: the House of Commons, the House of Lords, and the Crown. So, okay, the Parliament, the Crown is part of it. I started to use the word crown while I had no clue that it was used in the vocab to talk about monarchy. Like, is it real? Or is it just to adapt to my lingo? It's to adapt to my lingo, or is it a real thing to talk about the crown? Because I started to talk about the crown, and then now it's used as well there. So I'm a bit confused. I don't know if it's because I say crown that they use crown to describe it, or if it's because it's crown that I have started to use crown. I don't know. It's like, was the egg coming before the chicken, or the chicken before the egg? That's the right now I can't say. I just know that there is alignment, so which is just providing more insight on the thing, and I'm still targeted as you see, the usual, but it's changing obviously, as you can see. So the monarch is therefore an integral and constituent element of the legislature without whom no law can be made. The role is today primarily ceremonial, but it is fundamental to legal authority of parliament. Okay, the monarch's legislative function is most visibly expressed at the state opening of parliament, which marks the beginning of the parliamentary year. During the ceremony, the monarch travels to the Palace of Westminster and delivers the King's Speech from the throne in the House of Lords. This speech is of great political significance as it outlines the government's legislative program for the coming session. However, its content is written entirely by the government. The monarch acts as the constitutional mouthpiece for the executive, lending the authority of the crown to the political agenda of the day. The sky is covered up with clouds this day, but I still see glimpses of presences as I can see on my screen sometimes. And I tend not to talk about it too much because I have been gaslighted as being completely crazy, which is not the case. As you can see, they are being crazy about me. So I think we've settled this. Yet, when the imprint is on the mind, the fear triggered in the body, you just live through it no matter what. No matter what, no matter how it appears. If the imprint is felt, then it's felt. That's all. So the process and significance of royal ascent. Right now, there is lots of work and push in the background that is made so that I would be disrupted in reading this by all means necessary because this is something that is going to go online and that will be seen by lots of people. And so the more they can showcase power in this type of videos as in influence of still managing to impact me directly, the more power they are supposed to keep for themselves. Yet you can see right now that it's only superficial still compared to what it's been in other videos. I guess. Oh, actually, in some videos, it's as if I was not enduring at all what I was enduring. It doesn't look like so much I was targeted that hard. It was a bit seamless. You can feel it. You can see it to some extent because I'm more tensed and less relaxed. And like some stuff are invisible. Like when she was coughing, was I could feel like some pressure on the body, and here you have like a small like little itch on the forearm, and there are some imprint of thoughts that are as well that I do not elude, that I do not say, like some pressure on the legs and stuff like that, some pressure on the skull that I'm not always talking about. It's still light. It's not what it was. Sometimes it's totally over, sometimes totally out. And it's been important, for instance, on the previous video, that I would be all the time itching, because if I am all the time itching, then it means that they do have an impact to some extent, yet the itching is just superficial compared to what they wish to have as a form of power, and it's superficial compared to the impact that my words are having against them right now. And this, they try to hide it as much as possible. from you, yet they have been targeting the medias as well, the journalists, and it transpires absolutely everywhere that they are completely losing control and that they are completely losing absolutely everything. And it doesn't matter if I see it or not, it just that the movement has changed and cannot be reversed. It's only taking more and more power. More and more artists have been as well backing me officially, as you can see in the documents, have been officializing their stand, which means that no matter what happened around me, the change is still growing and continuing to move forward. Why? Because this is the power of the crown, right? No matter what opponent you have in front of you, your informal power still surpasses any form of formal power that comes against you. This is the legitimacy of the crown. This is the power of this. This is my power, and that cannot be overturned or overruled. It remains. And I am, again, a celestial prince. So it sucks what I'm going through, yet this is what it is. And I'm supposed to have like the duty just ignoring me totally. I will show the conversation. I will expose the conversation. It's like you want to play dumb, play dumb. That's okay. Okay, so I will still have to find some other housing tomorrow or today, tonight. I don't know. I still need to do this. Pressure. It's been like this for the last, I don't know how much. And I'm still finding more stability right now, so anyway. Okay, so the process and significance of royal ascent right now, I don't really care about it. So the sovereign as commander in chief, head of the armed forces, this can be interesting. The legal and financial status of the sovereign. This interests me right now because of my current situation. They want to deprive me of absolutely everything of my wealth that it's a given and a duty, not the duty. They have to. It's like it's mandatory. It's not an option. So we're going to skip directly to chapter 5, the legal and financial status of the sovereign. It's been so important for them that I wouldn't get any material things that I think it would be a good thing to overturn this as soon as possible. I remain patient, and the entire financial system is being exposed. They are losing absolutely everything. They don't say it, they don't tell it, they don't show it, yet it's happening. Why? Because they want to deprive me of absolutely everything. So they get deprived of absolutely everything as a result. Chapter 5, the legal and financial status of the sovereign. The unique constitutional position of the monarch is reflected in a distinct legal and financial status, governed by a combination of ancient common laws and law principles and modern statutory arrangements. The principle of sovereign immunity. The monarch benefits from the ancient common law doctrine of sovereign immunity, encapsulated in the legal maxim rex non potest peccare, or the king can do no wrong. This doctrine dictates that the sovereign cannot be subjective to civil litigation or criminal prosecution in their own courts. The principle stems from the historical concept that the monarch is the fount of all justice and therefore cannot be compelled to appear in the courts that were created under their authority. This immunity from suit to enforcement has been interpreted to apply to the monarch in both their public, official, and private capacities. Well, this immunity from suit and enforcement has been interpreted to apply to the monarch in both their public, official, and private capacities. So there you see that it's actually illegal to arrest me. And I have been arrested in Spain, France, not in Germany. While this provides comprehensive legal protection within the United Kingdom, it is a doctrine of domestic law and does not necessarily extend to the jurisdiction of foreign courts. So everywhere is similar. It's the same. We follow the same rules, the same patterns all the time, always, infinitely, over and over and over and over. So it means that the courts of France are up for treason, basically, because they unlawfully, yeah, no, they just said no to me while I was not compelled to go to the court in the first place, and therefore they put their life directly in danger because you do not oppose the law of the king. Something like this. The financial framework. The monarch's finances are drawn from three primary sources: a system designed to provide funding for official duties while maintaining a degree of separation between public and private wealth. The sovereign grant. This is the main source of public funding for the monarch's official duties. Established by the Sovereign Grant Act 2011, it replaced the former civil lists and various grants in aid. The the grant covers the costs of official travel, property maintenance for the occupied royal palaces, such as Buckingham Palace or Windsor's Castle, and the employment of royal household staff. The level of the grant is determined by a formula linked to the profit of the crown estates, a vast portfolio of land and property held by the monarch in right of the crown, but whose revenue is surrendered to the treasury. The grant is subjected to audit by the National Audit Office and parliamentary scrutiny. So this means that I have a grant. I don't know how to say it. Grant, grant, granted, grant. I have this with Germany and I have this as well with France. I have this with Germany and with France and with China and with UK and with Luxembourg and with Poland now and with, it's like I do have freaking money. Like, why don't I have access to it yet? It's been a while. Like so much damage has been done. My family has been taking it over. It's not possible. I'm not subjected to them, obviously. It's just that there are alignment of interests in the abuse system, so that they would still feel that they have somehow a chance about it. So the Palace of Madrid, in which close to which I was sleeping at some point, that's my home. That's my home. Buckingham Palace, that's my home too. The Windsor Castle, I guess that it could be given to me as well. Like I have real estate absolutely everywhere. I guess that Versailles is even partially my home. And they want to reverse absolutely everything. So they want to absolutely like give me nothingness instead of everythingness. The privy purse. This is the monarch private income, which is primarily derived from the net revenue of the Duchy of Lancaster, a portfolio of land, property, and assets held in trust for the sovereign. It is used to meet official and private expenditure not covered by the sovereign grant, including expenses incurred by other members of the royal family. Like, you see, instead of having, of benefiting from this type of the sovereign grant, what has done my family? They just completely narrow-mindedly focused on selling my ass and keeping it that way. How stupid can you be? It's like right there, power, money, real estate, blah. Just saying to all that, what for? I don't know. It just, you cannot make sound decision. You're uninformed at best. Ignorance. Private income. The monarch also possesses personal wealth and investments, including the privately owned estate of Balmoral and Sandringham, which were inherited. The details of this private income are not made public. Regarding taxation, there is no legal obligation for the monarch to pay income tax, capital gains tax, or inheritance tax. However, since a voluntary arrangement was first made by the Queen Elizabeth II in 1993, the monarch has voluntarily paid income and capital gains tax on personal income and the income from the Duchy Lancaster Duchy. The sovereign grant, being public money for official duties, is not taxed. So this is all mine, all this. And they're so fucking stupid. I told you they were stupid. They're so fucking stupid that they are saying no to up to this, to all this. by they're playing so small. It's like they want to feel the power, but they're unable to sustain it, obviously. It's like the private purse. I wish I was surrounded by smarter people in my life. I think I'm gonna stop this here. It's just it's like I have the command of the armed force of Spain, of France, therefore of the Commonwealth, of the US as well. It's like, why are you so freaking stupid? Why? This is stupidity at its best. Let's see first about the money with Spain as well, the legal and financial status of the king, because I have political power, still political power, no matter what, by influence, at least right now, rather than formal. And it doesn't matter if I have a form of power right now, because if you don't have informal power, then you cannot wield properly your formal power. And we have the proof of it right now. My power is mainly informal and formal as well, but informal because the publicly right now, officially, some other people are benefiting from those rights, whereas I think that they are meeting a steep range of deadlocks and opposition. They cannot fully enjoy the rights neither because they are illegitimate and because my influence and informal power is way stronger than theirs, and therefore it's starting to crystallize in some form of formal power. And so this means that in turn they are about just to be driven out of the function. Fuck. And in Spain, I have been almost led by the Caixa Bank in front of the court while I am the monarch of Spain. So it's chapter 10, the legal and financial statute of the king. And then they talk about monarch within the thing. So the Spanish constitution provides the monarch with a unique legal and financial status, explicitly defined in the text. The principle of inviolability. Article 56.3 of the Constitution establishes the absolute legal protection of the monarch, stating, the person of the king is inviolable, inviolable, and should not be held accountable. La persona del rey es inviolable y no está sujeta a la responsabilidad. This is why they can't learn. They cannot be held accountable. This is a king thing. You cannot be held accountable. But there are consequences to everything, to any of your actions. So you are held accountable no matter what happens. And I'm all about accountability. This is gonna be my reverse thing with the kingship, so to say, like accountability. I hold myself accountable of any of my actions, and this is how I learn where I find my power. And there, it's like they cannot be held accountable. It's like, all right, so I cannot be held accountable of absolutely anything that I do, and they want to. They are searching to hold me accountable for absolutely any of my words and any of my actions. They try to hold me accountable for absolutely anything that I do and to fight back while I cannot be held accountable for anything that I do, say, or whatever. But you are being held accountable, on the contrary. So this means that this is steep trouble for absolutely all the people that were involved in this. It's like we're not locking royals, just so that you know. It's like the bloodlines will be carried on no matter what. This is as well some of the point of having dormant branches. It's to be able to reverse the entire thing if needs be. So you thought you were expendable, not expendable, but you actually are expendable. It's all programmed to protect the crown, the real crown. So this clause grants the reigning monarch absolute sovereignty immunity from any civil or criminal proceedings within Spanish jurisdiction. Ooh, so they will step down, they will be demoted. So it means that absolutely everything that they have been doing, they will be, it will be able, we will be able to hold them accountable for it. And this is perhaps something that they want to avoid at absolutely any cost. And I've seen the present. So perhaps this is why they have been fighting so hard. But once again, instead of making of me their ally, what they've been doing is just making of me their worst enemy. Tactically, that is the worst thing that you could ever do. So this is a stronger and more explicit form of immunity than the UK's common law doctrine, as it is enshrined directly in the nation's highest legal text. This is in the Constitution. Oh, and this is the highest legal text. This is why Trump is targeting the Constitution, to violate the Constitution, to prove that he can do better than the highest legal text, except everybody's going is mad at him, and this is this is not a good strategy. Once again, it's like, okay, there are some type of things that needs to be pervasive to kingship, like being a little cray cray and impose technically your voice, assert your authority with strength, and prove that your authority is above it all. But Sigma authority is above it all if you look at it more closely. I am lucky to have celestial backup for this, because it's because I have celestial backup that I am in this specific position right now, and that I can survive this. Because oof, otherwise it would happen. The mind control, the Monarch's program. Ugh, whoa, this is insane, intense. The inviolability is constitutionally linked to the counter-signature requirement in Article 64, which ensures that legal and political responsibility for all official acts is borne by government, not the monarch. Okay, so there they try to put a limit to it somehow. Public funding and financial arrangements. The financial arrangements for the Spanish crown are outlined in Article 65. Article 65.1 states that the king, see, it's not monarch here, it's the king. The king receives an overall amount from the state budget for the maintenance of his family and household, and distributes it freely. And this is where my family, I'm like, you are just fucking dumb asses. Like, infinite fucking dumb asses. It's like, how narrow minded could you be? This provides a lump sum for public funds, the internal allocation of which is at the monarch's discretion. This in Spain, this in the UK, this in the USA, this in France, this in Germany, this in Japan, this in China, this in Russia, this in Poland, this in Switzerland, in Luxembourg, in Monaco. It's like, what the? This provides an Article 65.2 for the grants. The king the right to freely appoint and dismiss civil and military members of his household. What? Freely appoint and dismiss civil and military members of his household. Household. Freely appoint and dismiss civil and. Is it that I can give money to whoever I want? Basically, I can say, you are from my household. You get all the money you want. I give you a bit. I can do that. I can say, you there, 11K per month. That's it. Oh, you good. I like you. Your family. You're my household. That is so much money that I can attribute to so many people all around the world. but instead selling my ass online. What? However, in the wake of financial scandals involving the former monarch King Juan Carlos I, there has been primero, there has been second, third, Queen Elizabeth II. There has been a significant and decisive move towards greater transparency and accountability. In 2022, the Spanish government approved a new decree aimed at modernizing the monarchy's operations. In 2022, for the first time, this decree allows Spanish regulatory agencies to audit and monitor the royal family spending, and it requires senior royal officials to publish annual declaration of their assets. They started to monitor in 2022 what was going on so that they wouldn't take anything out of my legacy. I see. In a proactive step reflecting this new era of transparency, because I was going all full transparent, the royal palace publicly declared King Philip sixth personal wealth for the first time in 2022, valuing it at approximately 2.4 million, which is nothing. So I think I think the dude might be billionaire instead of 2.6 million. It's like, really? These reforms are intended to bring the financial standards of the Spanish monarchy in line with those of other public institutions and European royal houses. 2.6 million. Lol. Have you? You're fighting me against 2.6 million of wealth in Spain. This is why you're fighting so hard. 2.6 million? Sure. Yeah, some heads have been dropped. So, then there is the Commonwealth. The rise of the head of the Commonwealth. Chapter 11, A Crown of Many Nations, the Commonwealth Realms. So, a Commonwealth realm is a fully independent and sovereign state that has monarch Arno first as its monarch and constitutional head of state. In addition to, I'm going to change that in the document, has monarch Arno first, or just monarch Arno? Monarch Arno first, and you become first when there is a second. As its monarch and constitutional head of states. In addition to the United Kingdom, there are 14, I'm born in the 14 other Commonwealth realms, including major nations such as Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Jamaica. The relationship between the monarch and each realm is governed by the concept of the shared crown. This constitutional principle means that while the same person is the monarch of all the realms, the crown functions as a separate and distinct legal entity within each nation. For example, when acting as King of Canada, Monarch of Canada, the monarch is a distinct legal personality from the King of the United Kingdom and acts exclusively on the advice of his Canadian ministers. This arrangement evolved from the Balfour Declaration of 1926 and the Statute of Westminster 1931, which established the dominion of the former British Empire as equal in status, in no way subordinate to one another. Okay. As the monarch cannot reside in all 15 of his realms simultaneously, he is represented in each realm other than the UK by a governor general. The governor general is appointed by the king on the formal advice of that realm's prime minister and exercises nearly all the constitutional powers and functions of the head of state on the monarch's behalf. So this is where Daphne Chauvel made a big mistake in the way she positioned herself. Because I could have gotten the crown and I could have placed her as Governor General. Chauvel is from my bloodline. And once again, this is where I'm like, people, what the fuck is wrong with you? Chapter 12, the head of the Commonwealth, a symbol of free association. The role of head, like Daphne Chauvel is in Canada right now. I don't know if I mentioned it, but she's in Canada and Montreal, and there I know other people there, but she would have been the one. People are thinking too little. Chapter 12, the head of the Commonwealth are not right in the way that they are thinking about the everything. It just, there's something that's disconnected in their head, something like that. I don't know. The mind control, or I don't know. When you know about the mind control, you can still make better decisions, no? It's like you can assess the belief system that is imposed upon you, and you can still see the actions that you are taking and the result of your actions. Why would it be so hard to do anything different? It's like I see the mind control, what it does to me. I see it. Like you have a minimum of fuck. You have a minimum of agency over yourself. It's not the same as I'm going through. It's not the same. Like you can see, like how buggy it's been, how I have been. It's not. Are you going through this as well? It's like, come on. You have all the keys. What the fuck is wrong with you? And you see how buggy I have been. Like, I can do that with you as well. Like, hey, I can decide that all the time. You would just be like this, buggy like this. And worse, even I think on a cellular level, DNA level, I could act and worse. So, whatever you consider being powerful as human technology and the way of control that you can have with human technology, however powerful you feel with the current technological capabilities from the humans, just consider that I can do all of this like this without even thinking about it and go beyond this. So, perhaps controlling you in different timelines again, So you better fall in line faster than slower. The role of the head of the Commonwealth is entirely separate from the monarch's position as the head of state of the Commonwealth realms. So, head of state is different from head of Commonwealth. Okay. It is a unique symbolic and non constitutional leadership position for the entire entire Commonwealth of Nations, which comprises 56 member states of varying constitutional structures, including 36 republics and 5 nations of their own monarchs. Eh? The role of monarch in relation to the Commonwealth of Nations is multifaceted and often misunderstood. It is essential to distinguish between two separate and distinct functions: the monarch's role as the constitutional head of state in a number of independent nations known as Commonwealth realms, and the monarch's symbolic role as head of the Commonwealth, a voluntary association of 56 member states. Okay, so there is the monarch of the United Kingdoms and 14 other Commonwealth realms. And then there is the head of the Commonwealth. Okay, so the role is not an ancient one inherited from the British Empire, but a modern, post imperial innovation. It was created by the London Declaration of 1949 as a direct response to the desire of newly independent India to become a republic while remaining within the association. This required a new constitutional model. The link between member states could no longer be a common allegiance to the crown as head of state. The creation of the title head of Commonwealth was a brilliant act of diplomatic and constitutional reimagination. It separated the person of the monarch from the institution of the crown as head of state, allowing the monarch to remain unifying symbol for a voluntary association of equals regardless of their internal form of government. It transformed the crown from a symbol of dominion into a symbol of the free association of independent member nations. Okay? Crucially, the role is not hereditary. The monarch's succession to this position is not automatic. While Queen Elizabeth II held the role for her entire reign, the succession of Charles III was formally agreed upon the Commonwealth heads of government at their meeting, and the function of the head of Commonwealths are purely symbolic and unifying, carrying no formal powers. Wait a minute, what? I don't understand this. While Queen Elizabeth II held the role for her entire reign, the succession of King Charles III was formally agreed upon by the Commonwealth heads of government at their meeting, CHOGM, in Grandmaster in 2018. Okay, so part of the plot was there. She died in 2022. So for 6 years, there were two. Huh? The functions of the head of Commonwealth are purely symbolic and unifying, carrying no formal powers. So there are formal powers, therefore. The monarch has no constitutional role in the governance of member states by virtue of this position. The duty associated with the role include intending biennial. So this is a good thing. Biennial Commonwealth Heads of Governments meeting, CHOGM, and holding a series of private meeting with the leaders of member countries, broadcasting a special message to the 2.5 billion people of the Commonwealth on Commonwealth Day each year. 2.5. Personally reinforcing the links of friendship and shared values that connect the diverse peoples of the Commonwealth through regular visits and contact with the Commonwealth Secretary General. The distinction between these two Commonwealth roles is fundamental to understanding the modern monarch's international position. Okay. So for this, perhaps I'm not the head because they're all not agreeing on that, on me being king already. But still, some of them, it's not unanimous, actually. Not anymore. So it means that no one would be right now the head of the Commonwealth. Because I can see that some nations have been going against the Charlie. So this means that he would still be at the head, or that someone else has been appointed, therefore. But who then? Then there is something else, which is that I am becoming the crown of so many nations that it's possible that I'd be the crown of all the 56. So this means that automatically I am choosing who is at the head of each nation, which means that they need to be with me. So this makes of me, in turn, the head of the Commonwealth as well. All right. All right. Okay, so that's it. I am super powerful beyond measure. But where's my money? Okay.